And in other news today, now force Google to block sick websites of hatred. After the Woolwich horror, MPs demand action from the internet giants. Let's read a little bit. Internet giants were last night slammed for refusing to remove extremist websites. Search engines such as Google and Yahoo must do more to shut down hate-filled sites in the wake of the Woolwich attack, MPs said. Thousands of videos which may help to radicalize impressionable young men are easily available on YouTube. And within hours of the execution of drummer Lee Rigby, 25, vile messages praising the attack and encouraging further outrages appeared on Twitter. Police have seized computers since Wednesday's atrocity and are still investigating if the two fanatics who beheaded the soldier were indoctrinated by online terror videos. Michael Abdullah, 28, was radicalized by a banned extremist group whose members used the internet to recruit impressionable young men. So this is just D-Day for the government terrorists, the Orwellian freak shows who have been trying to push through this legislation for donkey's years. It's been backed up through protestation like a bad kebab in the colon of the Houses of Parliament, but now, thanks to this latest terrorist atrocity, it's ready to burst out and cover all of us with the feces of tyranny and destroy and sweep away all of our civil rights thanks to this one nutcase who ruined it for everybody. They're going to introduce the internet legislation now to block off so-called extremist websites, and the government, the public should I say, are going to be clapping their hands and dancing around the campfires thanks to this legislation, because now they're safe, now they don't have to worry about such extremists because we blocked their websites. Yeah, that's going to make a huge freaking difference. Of course it is. Really, I think there's only one group to blame for this latest terrorist atrocity, and if you look at it logically, that is our very own government, because it is they who forced us to go to war in Iraq and Afghanistan against all protestations, against all logic, against all reason, and against all evidence. And it is they who opened up our borders in the full knowledge that the Muslim masses who were made extreme would, as anyone would, take the chance to evacuate a war-torn country and come to a cushy little place like England where they can spread their hatred. And they do have hatred because we've killed their families. So what else would you expect, huh? And the ones that have been in England all the time, well, they've just been made extreme too. And it's perfectly logical. Tony Blair was told about this, told that this was happened 10 years ago. This is what all the protesters said. How is it that all the protesters knew the future, knew what the outcome of the war would be, and yet all of the top brass executives in the government had no freaking idea? They were told countless times that what the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq would not quell terrorism, but create terrorism, and they persevered headlong, completely ignoring the wishes of the masses. So, in my opinion, it's they who must take the brunt of the anger or the sadness. They must apologize for this man's death because it is they who have caused it, inadvertently or otherwise. I don't think they've caused it inadvertently. I think they've caused it purposefully. And I think the evidence would actually back up my assertions. It's a long game they're playing, and the agenda has always been to introduce this kind of martial law, this kind of infringement on civil liberties, to lower our standard of living to the same level as everywhere else in the rest of the world, so that we can all be controlled together by a one world government. This is the agenda they followed, this is the agenda they're persevering with, and this is the agenda that they need to apologise for. I know I don't make much content, but I am going to try and do my best to keep up with the news and make videos commenting on it. I think it's really, really important at this time. So if you are interested in listening to more of this kind of content, then subscribe, and I shall see what I can do. Okay, good night.